So what is the difference between real Kolinsky Sable and synthetic Sable brush? In this video, I will be showing you exactly how these two types of brushes perform in a real painting, and the bird on the left will be painted with a real Sable brush, the bird on the right with synthetic Sable, so you can make up your mind, observe the differences, and pick the right brush for you. Now, most of us know and love Kolinsky Sable brushes. They're amazing for painting and particularly suitable for watercolor art, but they're also quite pricey and they're becoming increasingly rare and difficult to find, especially in North America. The good news is that the biggest brush makers in the world are increasingly coming up with synthetic Sable options that are a lot cheaper, and in terms of their performance, they're mimicking the qualities of the real Sable quite well. So you may be wondering if this is the right option for you, and today I'm going to demonstrate how synthetic Sable performs against Kolinsky Sable so you can see for yourself what the differences are, where the similarities may be, and make a decision for yourself whether or not this is a good option for you. If we haven't met, my name is Anna. I'm a Canadian money designer, a professional illustrator, and I teach advanced watercolors. If you do know me, welcome back to the channel, and let's explore some amazing art supplies. The first brush we're going to use is this Escoda Reserva Real Kolinsky Sable brush. I've been using this type of brush for years. It performs beautifully, but of course it is a bit on the pricey side. And I will be comparing this brush to Escoda Versatil, and I have it in a travel size, but you can also get them with a regular handle. These travel brushes come in a beautiful set, and I'm not going to focus on the convenience factor. What we will focus on is the way each brush retains fluid and releases the pigment, and we will also focus on the precision. Now, in terms of the price, of course, the Kolinsky Sable brush is very expensive, much more expensive than the synthetic Sable. So when we look at the performance and we look at the price, we'll be able to rate the brushes and pick a winner. Both brushes are made by Escoda and actually traveled all the way to sunny Spain, and observe how the amazing brush artists from Escoda are putting together these fantastic tools for us. So the whole experience was absolutely magical. I was able to see how the Kolinsky fiber arrives in these little rolls that are super expensive, and then it's being shaped by hand into a brush that you would get in the art store. So the quality is unparalleled, and the reason why I picked two brushes from the same company, because I don't want to focus as much on the quality of the make. I want to focus on the performance of Kolinsky Real Sable versus synthetic Sable, because I think it would be really interesting for you to see. If you enjoyed this review, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can be in the know when I publish my next video. I will also be publishing a full tutorial explaining exactly how I painted the birds, all the colors and all the brush strokes this weekend, so you can be on the lookout for that as well. So let's get started. I'm gonna lay down the background wash using my Reserva brush, and nothing unexpected here. It holds water just enough for me to cover most of the belly. It releases the water exactly how I need it to. I can do those nice blooms with clear water to identify the highlight. I'm picking up more color. I mean, this brush is simply amazing and worth every penny, but we're interested in seeing the final results and exactly how it will compare to our synthetic Sable. So let's do the bird on the right, do exactly the same layer with lots of reds and purples, and I'm using now the Versatil brush. It'll probably hold a bit less water, but it's not noticeable in this small area. I'm not seeing any difference just yet. What I am noticing, however, is a little bit of a difference in terms of how it releases water when I press the brush. So that's interesting. So just a little bit less control in terms of water release when I press it, but I think it's expected. Is it a huge difference? No, I have to be a little bit more careful when I press the brush because it does give a bit more pigment, a bit more water, but it's very subtle, the difference. Let's move on to adding more color with my Reserva brush, and I'm gonna do those darker feathers. Nothing unexpected here, it handles beautifully. Now let's try it with this brush, size 2 Versatil. Okay, again, it has more spring than the soft Kolinsky Sable brush, but I actually find it more helpful here because I'm able to get in and start with smaller details and then drag the water out and do my big wash like here on the tail. So not bad at all. Now I'm gonna finish off the bird on the left with my Reserva. Beautiful even coverage, thin stroke when I need it, full coverage when I need it, so again, no surprise there. So far so good, it's pretty comparable except for the larger wash. Now let's do the tiny details. Here I suspect that the Versatil will handle itself better because the tip is so fine and it has a lot more spring, so I don't have to press it as hard. Yeah, it's beautiful. I can really do the tiny details easily. And now Reserva. Again, I have nothing but good things to say about this brush. It's pretty amazing. I could get into every corner, paint every detail, every little feather, and I'm switching from tiny strokes to larger strokes. I'm able to blend. It's soft, it's precise. The Versatil has a bit of an advantage for smaller details, for covering small areas, just because the tip doesn't bend as much, gives you more control. Okay, let's do a few details here. Again, amazing precision. That tip is everything. Like, it's just magical. You're gonna love it. Like, if you're painting tiny details or miniatures, that is the brush for you. I am so excited to use it on my botanicals, maybe on portraits, for hair painting. Oh my goodness, like it's like a marker. You pick up the color and you just draw the line, whichever line you want. Now let's do that blend again. Yeah, the blending is not as good, but with a caveat that it's far superior to any other synthetic brush I've tested. So they definitely did an amazing job with making this synthetic Sable mimic the properties of the real Sable brush. Okay, let's do the second wet on dry layer here. Now with lighter colors, we're doing the feathers. Again, this is what an amazing brush should be like. I'm just doing everything I need to do. It's soft but precise. I can add more color. It's not releasing water where I don't need it to. It's just behaving exactly how I expect it to behave. When I press, it releases more water and pigment. When I don't press, it just does those tiny strokes. So, okay, amazing. Now let's see how our Versatil will handle this large area on the belly of the bird. I'm starting with smaller strokes, and then I kind of have to almost angle this brush to get coverage for larger areas, add more water, and again, I just felt it, it's very subtle, but when I press it, it releases slightly more water and pigment than I intended to, but again, it's very subtle, like the difference is very small. It's worth noting that I would not be able to do this with a cheap synthetic brush. So the difference is subtle, expected, but it's there.
Tiny strokes, I don't know, I have to say, like, those ones are probably easier to do with the synthetic brush. So this is a keeper. Okay, now I'm just gonna finish off this bird on the left using my real Sable brush, just adding a few more details. Add the shadow there. Yeah, I mean, there's not much more to say about the real Sable brush other than it is absolutely pleasure to work with. You can get coverage for large areas, you can get your precision strokes there. It releases water exactly how I intend to, so if you have the budget, there's nothing better than this. This is really going to help you get the results you want. Now back to our bird on the right and our synthetic sable. So I'm going to finish off the feathers and the details. I'm using size 6 now. And it's interesting because even though size 6 is bigger than my real Sable size 4, I can get the same amount of detail, just as precise. I mean, it just, the tip is phenomenal. I am very, very impressed. I mean, for a brush of this size, I can do all the details, the beak, the eyes, little feathers. And my gut, just based on my experience, synthetic brushes don't wear out as fast. So I'm painting here on a fairly rough paper. This is cold pressed, but it has a lot of grain. So what I know from years of painting is that Kolinsky real Sable brushes, they wear out and the tip wears out first. Now, my gut is that synthetic brush like this will last a lot longer, simply because it's not gonna respond and be affected as much by the grain of paper. I'm gonna finish the rest of this painting just using this synthetic Sable brush, and coincidentally I needed something very precise for my pine tree, and oh my goodness, I mean, it's just, I can't even make a mistake. It's just that precise. And it holds enough water for me to do the entire stroke, as you can see, start to finish. I don't dip it in water or my palette. I just drag it out. I can actually do a couple of strokes without getting more water or color. Amazing. So yeah, you can clearly see the advantages of synthetic Sable for smaller strokes. The precision, it mimics the real Sable, but the spring really makes it easier to do those details, so that I am able to do these pines just really quickly. I haven't made one mistake, and I mess up all the time on tiny details, so this is fantastic. It really is like a super weapon if you paint things like that. Phenomenal for a synthetic hair. Absolutely phenomenal.
So I think it's fair to say that if you consider the performance of these two brushes, the way they handle water, the way they release color, the precision, and also factor in the price, we have a clear winner, and it is Escoda Versatil. This will be a phenomenal choice for anyone who's doing more miniatures or highly detailed watercolor work. And of course, for daily practice, due to the price, it is a really good option. And shout out to all my Instagram followers who voted before I recorded this video. You guys were right. 4 out of 5 people chose Escoda Versatil, and it's probably because of the combination of excellent performance and price. Now, if money is not a consideration, definitely go for the real Sable brush. It is the gold standard, and you will have a ton of fun painting with it, and you can expect excellent results. Thank you for watching, guys, and don't forget to subscribe if you like the video. Until next time, have a lovely and colorful week, and I'll see you guys very soon.